around about 40 minutes away from the start of the OPUL Superstock TT Race 2. Let's move on to the changes of programme and get them done good and early. Pages 58 and 59 in your race programme. And the non-starters are numbers 4, 10, 14, 22, 24, 25, 39, 40, 42, 44, 50 and 52. And within that, we've been notified by the race office that Timothy Monod and Stephen Parsons have both withdrawn from the remainder of the TT. Timothy Monod had a little bit of a spill the other day, and Stephen Parsons has made his own decisions to withdraw. So Timothy Monod and Stephen Parsons out of the remainder of the TT classes. There are no changes to riders or machine for this OPUL Superstock TT Race 2, so that is the changes to programme. Now, myself and Chris Kinley a little bit earlier were using all of our fingers, thumbs and anything else we could find to try and do a little bit of a tally on the championship positions going into this penultimate day of racing. Chris did all the writing and most of the calculations, so I'm going to hand back to you, Chris.
I actually haven't got it with me, to be fair. Do you know where Mike's sat over the far side on the right-hand side in the studio? You'll just see it there. It's on a little bit of paper just scribbled on there. Have you got it?
Yeah,
you've got it. There you go. So you can read it out, so it's your fault. This is only rough calculations, by the way. This is the manufacturers and teams. But basically, it's kind of like a man of the meeting so far, if we want to do it on the points that were going to be awarded for the overall. Anyway, so you've got it there, Boydie, my boy?
Absolutely, yeah. So this is manufacturer and team awards. For Superbike and Senior, it's 25 points for a win, 18 for second, 15 for third, down to 1 for 10th place. For the Supersport, it's 18 points for a win, 15 for second, down to 1 for 9th. And for the Superstock and Super Twin classes, it's 15 points for a win, 12 for second, down to 1. So you can understand how it gets a little bit difficult, and it doesn't take much to tax myself and Mr. Kinley. But we've come up with the fact that Michael Dunlop so far has scored 79 points. Davey Todd is second with 68 points. Dean Harrison, 60 points. And then Paul Jordan and James Hillier are tied on 20 points. Now, there isn't a Riders' Championship as such. They are gaining points for teams and manufacturers awards, but they are what the leading riders have so far tallied up for each of those. It's a little bit confusing, but there is prize money and obviously the title at stake, and it really matters to the manufacturers and the teams, doesn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it does. We talked the other day about how important racing is to manufacturers, and particularly the Superstock class. We're obviously seeing the OPUL Superstock race later on today, and that, you know, that's the bike that people can go to the showroom and buy, so you can come and see the guys racing on a Sunday. I know we're not racing on a Sunday here. It's what day is it? It's a Friday. You know, you see the guys racing on a Friday, and you go on the Monday, or you go the next day to the dealership, and you can buy the bike that, you know, whoever we see winning today, whether it's on a Fireblade, a Honda Fireblade, or a Kawasaki ZX-10R, or a S1000RR, or an M1000RR. You know, you can go and buy one tomorrow. So, yeah, really important for the manufacturers. So it'd be great to see them numbers at the end of the week, see how they tally up.
Absolutely. Just a little bit of cloud come across here at the TT Grandstand just at the moment, but we can see plenty of blue sky as we look out from up here in the tower. The pit lane is a hive of activity at the moment as the crews in all their fire gear set the fillers up ready for the one pit stop that we will have in this race. So there's plenty of action happening down there. They have to be done and away by the time we get to the 30-minute signal. I think they have a 15-minute window to do that job. It's all very strictly policed, isn't it, Mike?
It is, yeah, and it's all for safety. You know, whilst they're in there doing that, you'll see the firemen stood opposite them. They'll have a fire extinguishers in their hand because, you know, there might not necessarily be any sort of sources of ignition, I think the term is, that they use down there, but but there's still a lot of very, very, very flammable liquid. And if something goes wrong, it's going to go wrong quickly, isn't it? So it's great to see they're all in their, their fireproof overalls, the fireproof balaclavas. Again, that's all mandatory. You're not allowed in there without that kit on. That does throw a bit of a spanner in the works during the pit stops, though, because I can remember my first TT in 2016. I couldn't remember what my team's balaclavas looked like, and I came in the pit lane in the Superbike race, and I couldn't find the team. I was looking for the guys that I'd been working with all week, but they were dressed differently and had balaclavas on, so I nearly rode straight past them. So it's something you've got to make sure you're aware of. You need to know what colour your team's balaclavas and overalls are, as well as what number they are. What number pit station they are down the pit lane, because it can really ruin your race if you're not careful.
That's crucial. We always used to see the experienced old hands, people like Michael Rutter, before the race start, would come walking down pit lane just to check exactly which pit they were number where they were at and where they were in pit lane, just for that reason.
Yes. It can, like I say, it can absolutely destroy your result if you sail past your pit box, for want of a better word. It can be a long walk back to it, pushing your bike uphill.
Absolutely. I imagine, Chris and Beth, that most of the riders have disappeared after doing that one lap, have they, to go and get themselves ready for this race?
Yeah, a few of them have. There's still a few knocking around. Dean Harrison, Mike Brown have just seen knocking about. We're looking at back to the pit stops that we had in the Superbike race last Monday, Christmas, whenever it was. 101 was one of the slowest from David Todd's team. I think they were averaging, Chris Boyd, about 55 seconds on that. We talk about manufacturers, Mike, you were talking about. Just as some quick maths, twice in a day. Quick maths, what's going on here? 2 Kawasaki's in the field for the Opel Superstock race, 21 Hondas scheduled, 17 BMW, 8 Yamahas and 2 Suzuki's. Interesting, isn't it, how Honda over the past couple of years have come to the fore in this class, isn't it? It was BMWs for years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. The Fireblade's a fantastic bike. It's really, really fast. I know a couple of the guys out there are having some issues, just I think with almost how fast the bikes are. They're trying to get them calmed down a little bit, and stability issues seems to be the thing that people are struggling with on the Hondas. But yeah, I think most of the super bikes that you can buy can be competitive around here. They're all very, very fast. I think if you spend the time and the money on the right things, you can get the bikes, you can get most of the bikes competitive. And that's why we're seeing, a good spread of bikes through a lot of the classes here at the TT. We see lots of manufacturers, and it's great to see that spread of manufacturers.
Also, one Aprilia as well, with Joe Yerdsey on the RSV4 as well. So yeah, so all the manufacturers are kind of in there. Quite incredible, isn't it? And just watching Kevin Keys, just in deep conversation with a couple of his fellow countrymen down in there. And Kevin's had a pretty interesting week so far. Where's Kevin on the first race? Just get over me paperwork if I can. Kevin finished in 36th place on the Darragh YZF R1, averaging 123.072. And it's amazing, you see all these riders, no matter who they are, no matter what level they're at, after they have the presentations up here at the fan park, which you must come and visit, by the way, when they have the presentations, when they get the bronze reps, the finishers reps, also get their silver replicas. A load of them might booth. Where are yours in your house? And did you always put pictures of yours on social media? Did you all the time?
Yeah, I was. I like to show off what I'd won on Facebook and all the rest of it. I couldn't actually tell you where they all are now, because we moved house not long ago and everything got boxed up. And I've got a couple of them on display at some of my old sponsors. I would tend to give them to sponsors a lot of the time, and they could have them and sort of share the glory, so to speak. So yeah, there's a couple in the foyers of a few of my old sponsors' offices, and then a couple more in boxes in my garage, I think.
Do you know when you get them and you give them to your sponsors and they've got them in the place, do people then come in and at your sponsors and say, oh, what's this for? And then they have to explain the story, I take it?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. It's I guess it makes a nice icebreaker, doesn't it? And, it gets more people talking about the Isle of Man TT, which is great.
Which one are you most proud of? That's the question I wanted to ask you.
Probably the one I won in the senior TT in 2000.
Bronze or silver?
It was a bronze, but it was a 14th place finish in the senior, and that was my best TT result, and I was really proud of that. So that's actually one that isn't in a box.
Where is it? Toilet?
No,
The
it's
shelf?
it's actually on a friend's mantelpiece, but it's pride of place in his living room. So I'm pleased that one's on show, even if it's not on show in my house.
Excellent stuff, Mike. Thank you very much for that. So you just heard John Barton straight on there, and just feel that tension that Beth Aspie just lift a little bit when that ding dong goes.
It absolutely does, and it's interesting talking about replicas and Mike saying, giving them to the sponsors, because I think that really does highlight that this is a team effort. Every single person who's here is because they have a team of people behind them, supporting them and helping them do what they do. But yeah, it is a little bit more tense in here now because it's been fairly relaxed up to this point. But yeah, you start feeling nerves as well.
Yeah, occasionally, yeah. Before the senior TT, definitely. But you're also saying about teams and stuff. They've got the teams. Just to explain that where we are, we're in Parc Fermé, which is where all the teams are in with the little pit garage that they have with the PHL Performance, Peter Hickman, Barry Boyle, etc., on there. And they have their individual garages to go, and there's a team of guys in there. But also there's teams of guys further back down. They're making cups of tea. They're making sandwiches for the team. They're making bacon baps for the team. They're bringing them energy gels up. They're doing all these things. So it's not just the frontline guys here. There's lots of people in the background. No matter what level the team is at, they are there making tea and coffee and keeping people happy.
And if you're on the Isle of Man, it's well worth coming up and having a walk around the
free.
paddock. Yeah, it's amazing.
Absolutely
and you literally get to see that behind the scenes view, don't you, of what goes into making this happen. And everyone's so friendly as well. Lots of them are selling merchandise, so if you can support them in any way, it's very much appreciated.
And also, I went to MotoGP. Was that last year? Yeah, last year I went to MotoGP. Went the year before that, and you can't get anywhere near the paddock. Not a chance. And I was speaking to a few people. Oh yeah, you're that guy from the blah blah blah. I said yeah, and he said, oh, we haven't been. I said, well, you must come, or you have to pay a fortune to get in the paddock. I'm like, no. I said, you don't. I said, you can walk in the bottom entrance, that entrance to just walk around. And I said, yeah, they're walking through the pit boxes. You can't get to Parc Fermé. I said, but that's what it's about. It's the greatest free show of earth. Fair enough, there's got grandstands around the place. You can pay to go and watch it, absolutely. But if you want to come up here, bring your kids up, bring your friends round, the amount of people who come up here and they just see the TT grandstand and the mouth just drops. And they kind of go, wow, I've seen it on telly, and now I'm finally here. All sorts of different nationalities, all sorts of people walking around here over the past, nearly 2 and a bit weeks now.
Yeah, and that's what's so lovely about it, as you say, it is the greatest show on earth for that very reason, because it's so accessible to so many people, and you get to see people like John McGuinness, and they're all so friendly. Especially if you bring your kids up or whatever, they always take the time to speak to them, to do the signatures, and they've got so much else going on in their mind. I think it's phenomenal. But yeah, it's definitely well worth coming up and having a walk around if you haven't already. But we can see the Lieutenant Governor, Sir John Lorimer, who's such a big fan of the races here on the Isle of Man, and Lady Lorimer just taking a walk around the paddock. And yeah, he's no stranger to having a go on a side. He's been on a sidecar, hasn't he?
He has, yeah, up at Derby, if I remember right, the other year. I think he's done that. The Chief Minister as well, Alf Cannon, did it last year at Derby Day in not the greatest conditions. Derby Day, if you don't know, if you're coming back for the Manx Grand Prix Stroke Classic TT, that's at the end of that of the little festival there in August-ish time. It's later on in the year. I've got to sleep between now and then, so yeah, I'll be up there anyway doing stuff on it. So yeah, come up and we kind of get a few people up, and I'm sorting you out a run in a chair this year, Elizabeth.
I tell you, right, I keep saying this to you. I will not go on an escalator.
Rob Pritchard's done it.
Yeah, I know, and Rob Pritchard
I'm going to say it again. Rob Pritchard's done it. All good for a 2:30 start. So Rob Pritchard, our sports editor and commentator across Four Ways, he's done it at Ramsey Hepp, and he's done it.
Yeah,
I'm not putting any pressure on you.
No, okay. Well,
you heard it for you first.
No.
You're going to back me up on this, buddy.
Yeah, I'll be there if it happens, absolutely.
You're going on it as well, son. We can sort you out. Oh, sorry, it's Lady Lorimer come into our cups. Sorry, Lady Lorimer. We're actually just talking about the time Sir John was up at... Yeah, we're live, but we're talking about the time Sir John was up Derby going round in the sidecar with Dave Molyneux.
Yes.
Oh.
And I think he had to nod if he was frightened. And then they'd stop, or not if he was okay, and they went faster and faster. He's never really recovered since, so Molly has a lot to answer for.
And he actually rode up on his own road bike, if I remember rightly, as well, and he's here now. We're talking about your sidecar exploits, St John, and we're trying to get Beth in one.
Oh yes, you've got to go for it. It's an exhilarating experience.
I'll go in it if it's stationary.
That's pathetic. What I was surprised is the lack of suspension and how close you are to the road. It's fantastic. But I was very lucky. I had one of the best drivers. Dave was just brilliant. Molly was fantastic.
2 inches of suspension travel. That's all you had.
Yeah, 40 millimetres.
Oh, nothing.
Nothing.
He's a prop forward. He's
Yes,
not really
I think I
built
was probably
as sidecar.
a bit heavier than the average passenger.
Lovely to see, and hope you have a great day here at our race day Friday, Bank Holiday as well. So John, Lady Lorimer, and friends, thank you guys. Cheers. So isn't that weird? I was just talking about him, and he just, I think, watch your back there, bud. Watch your legs. Don't get your knees taken out. And yeah, he did enjoy that. He came up on his own bike, which I think was a Triumph. I think one of the newer Triumphs, and had all the gear on, jumped on the outfit, and Dave Molyneux took him up, not just up and down the runway, round the whole circuit. He didn't move out much. For those who don't know, moving out left and moving out right, he didn't do much of that, but he definitely enjoyed it. It was really good. You're set now, kid. There's lots of people your size, I know. I've got a set of leathers. You can borrow them.
Right, thanks.
You're very well. Listen, it's not a problem at all. Anyway, let's get back to this. It is the OPUL Superstock race starting in about 26 or so, 24 or so minutes time in a while. It's been a long 2 weeks. There's lots of facts and figures going round in my head. And I'm going to have a quick word if I can now with Baz Ferber. Let's get back to bike racing, shall we? Never mind tracks up a Derby. And when you do it, Beth, I will be there watching, taking video and all sorts. 32nd in race number 1 for 56 Baz Ferber on the DC Motorcycles machine. Baz, first race okay? Happy with that, or a bit more maybe?
Well, we need a bit more. We'll find a bit more. The
What are you struggling with?
Just me twisting the throttle harder. No, we're happy. I'm happy enough. The bike's coming on. I've done better lap times than I've done before, so it's just chip away at it and keep pushing.
Great conditions today. Did you go out for the run just a moment ago? I don't think you did you?
I haven't been out for that, no. I think we've got enough laps to do today. I'm pretty sure the conditions are going to be fine looking at it, so yeah, I'm just happy to plug away in the race.
A lot of people struggling with the Honda Fireblade, getting the thing not to wheelie all the time. You're the same.
Yeah, they're lively. I mean, the big bikes always are, but yeah, it's been a battle, and I'm happy on it now. We just need to go a bit faster.
What's the straight line stability like kind of Dan Sulby and stuff, and on the fast flat out bits?
There's no stability anywhere. No, it's not that bad, but yeah, you've got to hold on to it. It's lively. Yeah.
You've got a few laps to do today. Good luck.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Well, from one Barry to another, I'm with Barry Burrell now, and you went out for that lap. What did you make of the conditions?
Yeah, it was nice to get out. I've not rode for a couple of days now, so it was nice to get out. The conditions, to be honest, I didn't see too many damp patches. Every time I seen a flag, I was just overcautious, really, because obviously only a warm lap, and I feel a bit silly if I slipped off and not made the race. So no, it was just a steady wobble around, really, and it was nice to get back up to speed. I was just saying to my wife there, I didn't feel like I woke up properly, but I've managed to get myself a bit of man flu the last couple of days, so I think lack of sleep and lack of energy at the minute. So yeah, I'm just going to start the race, see how we feel, and then yeah, hopefully the adrenaline overtake any tiredness I've got.
Oh, that's just rubbish timing, isn't it? I know there has been quite a bit going around the paddock, but did you manage to get any downtime then over the past couple of days?
No, well, yesterday morning, not a lot, and then, well, basically no, we've not had any. Like I say, we've just myself and my father-in-law has been doing everything. So from tyres to mechanic and to obviously riding, it's been a bit mental the last couple of weeks, and I will be ready for a rest when I get home. However, I'm not looking forward to going home back to reality yet. But no, looking forward to this race. Let's get on with it, and I've got a little target in my mind, so hopefully I've got enough energy to try and reach it.
We'll ask you what that target was at the end of the race, but the TT Blues, Barry, are a thing that's very real.
Yeah, well, I've not experienced them yet, so I've heard about them. I'm not looking forward to them, but luckily enough, we've got BSB at Snet after being here. We've got a weekend off and then straight there, so hopefully it won't be too bad.
Hope it goes really well for you today.
Thanks a lot.
29th in race number 1 is Jonathan Perry on the Gordon Huxley Honda Fireblade. Just talked to Barry Baz Ferber about his. You've been handling issues with this thing, wanting to wheelie all the time. Or what do you think about it? Any changes made?
Yeah. First week it was wheeling a little bit, but we've got it dialed in a little bit better, and I'm not actually struggling with wheelie. I'm just struggling with a bit of it's quite nervous over the bumps in certain places. So yeah, we've made some changes today to try, and conditions are pretty good, I think, around the course, so we should get a good few laps in now.
You didn't do the lap just before, did you know?
No, I didn't bother with it, to be honest. I wanted to keep myself fresh, ready for the race.
PBs all through this week though?
Yeah, it's been an amazing TT. Yeah, I just can't believe how fast we've gone. A big jump up in 3 mile an hour this year from the Kawasaki.
That's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It doesn't sound a lot when you say 3 mile an hour, but over a lap, that is a huge jump. So, yeah, really happy with how TT's gone. Yeah, I just want to give a massive thank you to everyone. Gordon Huxley for obviously with the Fireblade, Helen Cowley for the 600.
She's all right, isn't she?
Helen's yeah, she's a beauty. Good friend Keith Woods, relative of Stan Woods, if you remember Stads, yeah. So Keith, he's prepped the bike for us all week, amazing job, he comes with us all year. to all the short circuit meetings everywhere. Yeah, does a mega job. And then just a few people at home. So Shay's Farm, they'll be listing out their sponsors this year. Come on board, and I really can't thank them enough. Julian from Greenacre Farm Machinery. There's just so many people that have supported us this year, and even the people in the paddock. We run the sponsor rider board in the paddock, and yeah, the amount of people that gets involved in the racing's unbelievable, and I can't thank every single name on that board. It's really gone towards the racing this year.
Don't you think that the amount of people, new people coming, especially to this event, and things like that, they're going up and say, oh, I can really help you out, and you go, oh yeah, of course I can. It's 50 quid.
Yeah, what's amazing for me is we started it last year for the first time, and what I didn't realise is people were coming and giving you 20 quid for a lap of fuel, and at the time, you sort of, you thank you give them a little bit back and you take it, but then what really gets me is at the end of the day or the next day, they come back to the paddock and they've actually been out and watched you go past, and the absolutely buzzing. The look on the face when they see it and they say, oh my God, we saw you last night and it was amazing, and it really gets people involved, and it's like I say, just massive help from everyone at home, friends, family, all the sponsors, everyone has made this TT real good TT for me, yeah.
Last question will be this one. You said you've got 3 mile an hour better, that's brilliant. Differences between the Kawasaki and the Honda for me then, well, for anybody out there?
It just does everything better, really. I can't say one thing it does better. It's faster, it turns better, stops better, it's lighter, it's just, everything about it, and it seems to suit my riding style as well. Been on a Kawasaki's for 5 years, had the Gen 5 and then the Gen 6, but yeah, this Honda really taken to it, and I love it to bits.
All right, Jonathan Perry, good luck today.
Cheers, Chris.
I'm here now with Brian McCormick, who also went out on that lap. So first of all, did you find it okay?
Yeah, it was brilliant. No wind, a few damp patches in places, but it was brilliant. I really enjoyed that, to be honest. The first one with no wind all week, and yeah, we knew where the damp flags were good. We knew where the damp patches were, so you could ride it quite hard. So yeah, it's a good call to get us racing and get us out there.
I tell you what, I don't know what you're talking about. It's never windy here in the Isle of Man.
Yeah. Last 3 years, that's all I've seen is wind. Yeah, maybe I feel it because I'm much taller. No, it was great. It was good to get a lap like that in, and I had a good experience in front of me. I left John McGuinness past me coming over the mountain. Well, not left him past me, he was coming past me, but I followed him across, and just kind of, yeah, it was great to ride into places without getting blown all over the place. It was great. My team owner, well, team sponsor, was sitting up Craig Nabow up on the balcony, so I was able to give them a big wave, and Kieran and his dad and Deco were over from Roadhouse, so it's good to have a few people out there waving you on as well, just on a warm-up lap. So yeah, looking forward to getting going now, to be honest. It felt quite good.
And that must mean so much when you know people are just out there for you.
Yeah, look, yeah, it's great. There's a lot, I said before, there's a lot of Irish flags around the place, a lot of Irish people here, so whether it's me or Mick or Mike or any of the boys, you know what I mean, everybody's just get home safe and have a good race, and it looks really good, to be honest.
And to be honest, it has been a long few days, people sort of struggling with tiredness and whatever. How are you physically?
I feel like I've been here a year. Yeah, no, it's been a lot. To be honest, the lads are doing more work than me. I haven't done anything. We haven't done any laps, so it's the team. Everyone's getting a bit down, and everybody needs a race now. Everybody needs to get going. So we get this in now, and then we get ready for the senior tomorrow.
Brilliant. Hope it goes super well for you.
Thank you very much.
Just going to jump into the man who finished in 17th place. Why did I look up as if I was going to hit my head on that walking in, Phil Crow? No idea. Hi, Phil. All right?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, ready for another attempt at this job, sir.
You're not one of these people. The lady's just been in with the Manx Medical Service. You're not one of the ones that are doing all this data on, are you?
Yeah, they did it this year and last year, but just a little bit of a late call there, so I've just refused it now because I'm just trying to get my head into gear and didn't want to drop my leathers off again and get the heart monitor on and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just once you start setting your mind to that kind of thing, you don't really want any disturbances. Just focus on the job.
Any changes made from race one? Then I will leave you alone.
No, no change at all. The bike's actually perfect. It was just me that wasn't perfect in the first one. I had a bit of a slow first lap, then a decent second lap, but I normally get going on lap 2, 3 and 4, but with these short races it's difficult, so I've just got to go out with a bit of a different mindset this time and just send it. But always when you're thinking about them damp patches, your first lap's always a sighting lap, which no good in this job. You've got to go for it. But yeah, so I'm probably a bit more cautious than some people on the first lap. Once I've seen the conditions, I'll go then, but we'll have a look. I've just had a word with Mike Brown. He said the conditions are reasonable, so I'll probably have a go on the first lap.
All right, Phil, good luck.
Cheers.
Just sitting here with Martin Morris. You went out for that lap as well. Did you find the conditions okay out there?
Yeah, it wasn't actually as wet or as damp as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as bad as the one the other day and first night of practice, so that was okay. Wind wasn't too bad either, so it was all right actually.
And in terms of the plan for today, have you got one?
Go as fast as I can, really. That's it, isn't it? You know, we'll slot down the back. We just every day, every session, every race, a practice session. Just try and go a bit faster. That's all you can do.
And did you get any downtime yesterday? Enjoy the sights of the Isle of Man?
No, well, we walked down the front and got soaked and had an ice cream and then got soaked again and had a coffee, and that was about it, really. But it's long days, isn't it? When you're not riding, and then your days off and you're still not riding. It's we all come here for a reason, I think, and the fans want to see racing and the racers want to race, don't they? So.
It's really weird, isn't it? It's been such a long couple of weeks, and then before we know it, it'll be over. What does normal life look like for you?
Back to an office job, unfortunately, and then see what other races I can get in end of the year. Hopefully go back to Macau, give that another go, because funnily enough it rained in Macau this year and that got called off. So yeah, basically just back to work and try and fit in as many races back in as I can, and then I think everybody starts prepping for next year's TT 2 weeks after this one finishes. So that's going to be the goal. The main aim is TT every year. So
best of luck today, Martin.
Thank you.
Going to jump over and have a little chat with Nathan Harrison. I think he's just popped up here now on the 19 bike in the shade. Yes, sir, that's the way to do it. How are you?
Yeah, all good, all good.
What did you do on your day off? Number one, did you work in the shop? Number two, did you have some downtime? Number three, did you stay away from motorbikes completely?
I turned up to the shop. I wouldn't say I worked. Got rid of some emails. I hate my emails going, but no. Glenn's running the shop, so and Carl, so yeah, no, and Alex. I can't forget Alex. But yeah, them three have been running the shop, so thanks to them. But yeah, no, I had a bit of physio. Went down to the spa and had a bit of a sauna and had a bit of a chill. It's nice to have a day off, and obviously all the team deserve a day off as well. Obviously, people don't realise it's not just the rider that has a lot of work; it's all the team. So you know, we had a chill day, and yeah, ready to go. Hopefully, we can get this race in today and ready for tomorrow as well.
7th position in the first run. Any changes made to maybe just push up the next couple of places?
Yeah, I had a good start. I was like P4, but then the damper went on me, so I was holding on to like a Buck and Bronco for a couple of laps, and I salvaged 7th. But yeah, no, I was actually a bit disappointed with 7th after I come 4th in the Superbike race. My goals have gone higher, but I just need to remember it's like my 3rd TT, and I think the Superbike race was my 8th TT start. So yeah, no, we're in a good place, and I just need to remember I've got plenty of years ahead of me.
Certainly have on the top of your on the top of his headstock, and also groove to the beat. What's the reasoning for that? I love things like that. If you want to explain it to me, you can.
No, it's all good. I've got just ahead of it says move your thumb, move your feet, groove to the beat. That's because I've got a habit of holding onto the thumb brake and also touching my foot on the gear lever. So they put that there to make me get out of that moment that I keep doing. So yeah, that's all it is.
Do you know when you're on the pegs? Just explain when you're on the pegs when you're going from Ginger Hall through to Ramsey, the bumpy section all through there. Just explain about that. How difficult it is to keep your feet on the pegs, to keep your hands on the bars. Explain that to the listeners.
Yeah, there's nowhere else in the world that's like that, to be honest. Obviously the bike's dancing around underneath you, the lock to lock, and the back's jumping around, and no matter what you do to the setup, nothing sets it up. And to be honest with you, I look forward to getting to Ramsey Hairpin. So when I get to Ramsey Hairpin and I get onto the mountain, I'm actually glad for that, because it's a nice bit of rest up the mountain mile then.
Now I'm going to let you do this and say, now Beth is with Paul Jordan. Go on.
Now Beth is with Paul Jordan.
There you are, Paul. How are you, Paul?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's a lovely day here in the Isle of Man, isn't it?
And we've been talking a lot about how you spend your day off, which hopefully you had yesterday. Did you do anything nice?
To be fair, it really wasn't much of a day off. I had stuff to do for the TT organisers and stuff, and then stuff to do for the team and whatnot to get ready for today. So, to be honest, it wasn't really much of a day off. I'll be looking forward to Sunday.
Bet you will. And that's the thing, there's so much that goes on in the background that people just don't see.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I like spending time with the boys. You know, at the end of the day, we're a family as such for 2 weeks or 3 weeks of the year, and you know, I like to keep in that environment. So yeah, it was just good to spend the day with the boys and have a bit of crack.
And when you go back home on Sunday, what sort of things have you got to look forward to? Is it back to the real world?
I'm going to enjoy a pint of Guinness, that's for sure. I haven't celebrated from the Northwest yet, so we need to do that as well.
How are you feeling about today then?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You know, the wind's not as bad as it has been in the whole week, so yeah, I'm looking forward to trying and get a good first lap in here, get to the pits, and then after that, just let the race unfold itself.
Wonderful. Hope it goes really well for you.
Cheers, thank you.
So that's Paul Jordan in deep conversation with Beth, and Mike just grab him. He's just talking to Paul Phillips and the motorsport team at the moment. Maybe grab a word with them a second. Dominic Irvison is on the 13 bike, just looking a bit pensive. We'll leave him alone just for the moment and let him just have his thoughts, and I know exactly where his thoughts are going to be. Now, Milky's going round with that stop engines thing, so what I'm going to do is we'll just go quickly to Beth with Mikey Evans, but then we need to just hang on because the boys need to hear what the clerk of the course is going to say. Beth?
Yeah, we'll just be very quick, Mikey, and if they start talking, we'll stop. But how are you feeling ahead of today?
Yeah, feeling good. It was nice to have a day off yesterday. Get a bit more refreshed and sort a few problems out with my body, a few aches and pains, but hopefully we'll feel good today.
I mean, obviously been quite a long time waiting around today. How do you spend that? I mean, in terms of how you eat and stuff, because it's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, it is tricky, because obviously now, what are we on, like 2:30 or something, so you get to a point where you don't really want to eat anything, so I did eat something about 12 o'clock, so I should be fine.
We'll let you listen to this. Thanks so much, Mikey.
Let's go back up to Chris Boyd.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chris. Let's have a look back then to Superstock Race 1, which was on Tuesday evening, and it was a win for Dean Harrison. Davy Todd led through the opening lap, and then Harrison turned up the wick from the end of the first lap onwards, and he came through to win by about 11 seconds, I think it was, from Davy Todd. So it was Honda's first win at the TT since John McGuinness's senior in 2015. 10 years between Honda wins, official Honda Racing UK wins at the TT, and Dean was happy to snap that sequence of podiums that he's had running all the way on and claim a fourth win. Davy Todd then was second on the Monster Energy BMW Motorrad, and then Michael Dunlop was third on his MD Racing BMW. James Hillier on the Muck-Off Racing Honda, he finished in fourth, ahead of Ian Hutchinson, Connor Cummins, and then Nathan Harrison in seventh, with the top 10 rounded out by Dominic Herbertson, Josh Brooks and James Hine. Do we think anyone gets close to the Honda today with it the extended, because it was only 2 laps the other night, it's 3 today, and that all-important pit stop?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's all to play for, isn't it? It's a three lap race is still a long way round at the Isle of Man TT course, isn't it? 37 3/4 miles 3 times. You know, it's. Let's not take anything away from it. But yeah, this race should be a 4-lap race, but yeah, 3 laps, and the pit stop. We've just heard that will be definitely a compulsory pit stop on the end of lap 1. It's still, just to get to the end of this race is still a big ask.
Let's get down to Beth, who's got Dom Herbertson.
I have there, just been doing some limbering up ahead of this. How important is it, Dom, to have a bit of a stretch before you head out there?
Oh God, Bennett, I tell you what, I feel like a bleeding omelette most days. I think we all do. It's we've all cracked a few eggs just to get it in the pan. And I tell you what, I must give a shout out to all the physio team and the medical staff here, because I tell you what, these races wouldn't happen without the physio team, because we're all just a bag of broken bits when we go into there every night. It's absolutely phenomenal. But obviously I've gone back to my old woodland tricks. I've had 3 Red Bulls, 4 cigarettes, and read the last 2 pages of Riz magazine. So I'm psychologically in a strong place. They might as well engrave the trophy now, let's be honest. You know, it's might as well call the race off. Just give me the cash. I don't take checks. I'm from the northeast, so might as well roll with it.
I'm intrigued to know how you spent your day yesterday, but I'm a little bit scared to ask.
Oh, well, we can't broadcast that now, can we? You know what I mean? What happens on OnlyFans stays on OnlyFans. You know, it's I'm too old. I'm not good looking enough for that website, I know that much. But now we've got a 3-lapper, and I was just saying before, here we go.
Just getting another announcement there from Gary Thompson. So this is really important for the riders to hear, and it's just clearing the grid now, because this is what happens just ahead of racing, just to make sure it's only the people who need to be down here. But yeah, sorry, so yesterday?
Yeah, so yesterday, no, just a bit of a chill day. I think everyone absolutely needed that, because it's not just the riders, far from it. It's all the mechanics, it's everyone who's in organising this. There hasn't been a moment to breathe, but that's the price of putting on a good show. And I think, you know, we're here, the island's full, it's a bank holiday weekend. Get a beer open and try and give us a high five at 180 mile an hour if anyone dares.
Oh my lord. And there's no wind really.
Yeah, by the way, keep your arms in. I feel like I'm going to get torn up by Gary Thompson there. You know, keep your arms in, for crying out loud, keep your arms in. But no, give us a wave and see what happens.
Brilliant, thanks for talking to us, Dom, good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, just watching Richard from Max nearly getting taken out by a photographer. Just going to jump in round the back if we can. Round here, just seeing Big H up there. Those will know where Big H, former senior Manx Grand Prix winner in 1988, and young Mike Brown. Oh, hey, listen, I tell you what, if I stand here, look, we're nearly as tall as each other.
That's how I got away with it there.
I know I did. Mike, how are things? All right? Did you go for the run earlier on?
Yeah, I went for the run. Yeah, just for a look around, but it's not too bad.
What about today, KTS bike? What do you make? Any changes?
Yeah, changes again. Not having a great week, to be honest, with a DNF and a problem in the last race again, just with a few handling things. We changed a few bits again, but that lap really didn't show much. It was just a bit slower with the conditions, so Well, we'll give it a shot and see.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike Brown. Off at number 9, of course, he finished in 13th place, and Connor Cummins is just here. Simon's just explaining a few things to him about the dashing stuff. In fact, let's move to the front. Number 1, starting off, John McGuinness.
John, you were out there for that exciting lap a little bit earlier. Everyone's saying conditions are fairly good out there now.
Yeah, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Great decision by the organisers again there to keep the roads open, to let it dry out a bit. But yeah, just the usual spots. Braddon's a mess. We're just going to deal with that. Usual Ramsey hairpin, Governor's Dip a bit. But to be fair, yeah, sun's out, it's warm, wind's dropped a little bit. I sort of quite enjoyed that lap. I haven't ridden the bike since Tuesday, so felt a bit rusty. So yeah, I'm just going to try and enjoy this 3-lap Superstock race. Make sure I don't forget to come in after lap 1, the old compulsory pit stop. But it's been 114 starts, so thanks for waiting, everybody out there, and hopefully we'll put a good show on.
Well, I hope you had a good couple of days off. Didn't go and get any more tattoos or anything, no?
Well, I can't get that tattoo on my bum just yet because I've got a couple of more races to do. It'll probably hurt, won't it? But after this, yeah, I've shook hands, so a man's deal's a deal. So yeah, as long as Harvey Beltram pays for it from Honda.
He's looking at you now. He'll pay for it. He'll pay for it. We don't want to see the pictures, though. Thanks.
Cheers.
Davey Todd's just walked up into the grid there now and sees Keith Moore and gives Keith just a bit of a hug. There's cameras obviously everywhere. Sorry, bud, I'm just going to squeeze around you there, my friend. Just on this side. And sorry, young lady, you keep talking to him. Don't worry about me. I'm not important. You guys are more important than me. Hello, young man.
Hello, mate.
Do you like that?
Yeah. Yeah, young man. I feel like I'm getting old, so young man's quite nice, yeah.
Been a tough couple of weeks, Davey, on bodies, on mental and everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not been easy. It's not been easy when the conditions have been as they are. Like, you know what? I've got to give massive credit to the whole TT organisation team. They've done a fantastic job. I wouldn't have wanted their job, especially not this last couple of weeks. So, yeah, hats off to them. They've done a fantastic job getting us out when we can get out, and it's been less than ideal, but we're out here racing the TT, so what could be better, eh?
Changes from the first one, any made?
Made a few changes, don't want to say too much. We were getting held back a little bit by a couple of bits, the electronics and what have you, and yeah, we're ready for this one. I'm ready for it. I want to be on that top step.
Do you get all the electronic side of it? Are you that sort of a rock rider where you get involved with a laptop and you look at it and understand it?
Not too much. We do a little bit, but try and go a little bit more off feel than anything else, to be honest. And yeah, I feel good.
You look good. Good luck, Davey.
Thank you, mate.
Right, there you go. He's off at number 8. 3 minutes to go. Then he finished second place. Let's run through the top 3 then, Beth, to the first race. Dean Harrison took the race win for number 3. For number 8, Davey Todd. And number 6, Michael Dunlop, who's just arrived here, as is tradition now, with about 3 minutes to go. He was in third place. Number 5, James Hillier. He rocked up in 4th position. 6th was number 12, Ian Hutchinson. Great performance by him on the Moobot BMW MLAV racing machine. Connor Cummins, who was just having a big chat to Big H Paul Hunt there. He finished in that 6th position on the Burroughs Engineering RK racing machine. 7th was 19, Nathan Harrison. 8th was number 13, Dom Herbertson. 9th was number 7, Josh Brooks. And in the top 10, keep an eye on this young man, number 16, James Hine. Let's give you the board. Damp Patches of Braddon Oak, Glen Helen, 11th milestone, Kerramore. Ramsey Hairpin, Tower Bends, 33rd milestone. Kebble to Kate's Cottage. You heard who was saying that? Somebody mentioned that. I think it was Rob Hodgson, wasn't it? Earlier on, he mentioned that. The Nook. And of course, Governor's Dip. We are 2 minutes away from the start of the OPUL Superstock race number 2 on Bank Holiday Friday on the Isle of Man. Let's get to Mike Booth and Chris Boyd.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Chris and Beth, for all the pre-start interviews. The sun is now shining down on Glencrutchery Road. There is a huge throng on Bank Holiday, as Chris says, on the start line on Glencrutchery Road here, waiting for John McGuinness to roll down from his position on Glencrutchery Road into no man's land. All of the rest of them will then follow. We're just over a minute or so away. We can see the starter is down there ready to get on the rostrum. That is Neeraj Bhatia, the OPUL CEO. So he's going to enjoy his day. Other than that, the blue skies and very, very few clouds. They're very high now that we have, and they're very white as well. So hopefully we are set for a fantastic afternoon of racing as John McGuinness does now wheel himself into no man's land, and the sun just shines off the Honda bike number 1. It's a 2:30 start for the OPUL Superstock TT Race 2, 3 laps, 113.19 miles, A compulsory pit stop at the end of lap 1 for all riders. This race was not held in 2024, so there is no podium to look at for that. The race 1 podium, as Chris Kinley's just said, was Dean Harrison, Davey Todd and Michael Dunlop, and the lap record stands, of course, to Peter Hickman as the outright lap record for the TT course. It's 16 minutes, 36.115, 136.358. Mark Pendlebury stands in front of John McGuinness as we see Davo Johnson and Dean Harrison all roll down, and James Hillier rolling down into no man's land already as we get to 5 seconds to go. The hand goes onto McGuinness's shoulder, the flag goes up, the flag drops now. John McGuinness only 16th in the opening race on the Honda. Unfamiliar territory for him to be there. Next away will be Davo Johnson on the Platinum Club Racing Kawasaki. He was 14th in race 1. Then it will be our race winner, Dean Harrison, giving Honda that first win for 10 years. He goes away into race 2. And he's looking racy very quickly as he gets away off down to the top of St Ninians and then down Bray Hill, the big plunge down Bray Hill. Nobody at number 4, so the next starter will be James Hillier. He finished 4th in the first race on the Muck-Off Racing Honda. He will get away next, the Ringwood rider. And he'll be followed by Michael Dunlop, already a hat-trick at TT 2025. What can he do today on the MD Racing BMW? Josh Brooks will go next, the Australian on the Jackson Racing, powered by Prosper 2 Honda. It was a 9th place finish for him in race 1. A runner-up from race 1. He'll want to do better today. He led the opening lap, the Monster Energy BMW of Davey Todd. And then it's the KTS Racing BMW of Mike Brown, Calais rider. He gets away next. No one at 10, where Peter Hickman would have been, and Peter Hickman's been in and around the paddock over the last few days. Great to see him. So it'll be Connor Cummins away next on the Burroughs Engineering RK Racing BMW. It was top 6 for him in race 1. Flag drops. He'll be followed by Ian Hutchinson, the Otley rider. He finished 5th in race 1 on the Mubob MLAV BMW. He gets away. Then the irrepressible Dominic Herbertson on the HRRC Adam Hewitt Honda, 8th for him in the opener. A gap at 14, which is where Craig Neve would have been. Then Rob Hodson on the SMT Honda, 15th place for him in the opening race, but he had that podium earlier in the week in the Twins. Next up, a man we are really watching out for at this TT, it's James Hine, the Yorkshireman on the North Links component Honda, that brilliant 132 mile an hour lap earlier in the week. Sean Henderson rolls to the line next, the Banbridge man on the KHI Honda, finished 25th in the opener. And Philip Crow next, 17th in the first race on the Nigel Appleyard Agrowash BMW. Then our local man on the H&H Motorcycles Honda, Nathan Harrison, 7th place in the opening Superstock encounter. And then Paul Jordan away next, 12th place for him on the Jackson Racing, powered by Prosper 2 Honda. And then next to the line on the Dafabet Honda, it's Mikey Evans. Michael Sweeney will go next on the MJR Racing BMW. Very much BMW versus Honda this particular battle seems to be at this TT. Brian McCormack will go next on the Roadhouse Macau Racing BMW. 18th for him in the first race. And another of our local riders, Marcus Simpson, on the WH Racing by Dyno Bike Honda. He gets away. Alan Venter goes next, the South African on the Future Exotics BMW. And then our leading newcomer, Mitch Reese, on the Malenko by Padgett's Honda, up over 125 miles an hour in the opening race. Fantastic for him. It was a retirement in the first race for Jonathan Getze on the Optimark BMW, but he goes now. So we look for the first riders at Glen Helen. They won't be far away, and we'll switch to that as soon as they are. Stefano Bonetti, the Italian, will be next away on the Speed Motor Honda. The last man we'll take away from the line will be Jonathan Perry on the Gordon Huxley Honda, because we do now have riders out through Glen Helen, Mike Booth.
Harrison is leading John McGuinness at Glen Helen. He's got an 8-second lead, but crucially, we are seeing on the GPS system that it looks as though Josh Brooks has caught Michael Dunlop on the road. Right behind them is Davy Todd. We wouldn't normally expect Josh Brooks to catch Michael Dunlop. He would be looking to go forward with Mr. Dunlop. So has Michael Dunlop got some issues? It remains to be seen. We wait for him to arrive at Glen Helen to see where he slots in on the time screen. Meanwhile, James Hillier slots in. He's at 7 seconds behind Dean Harrison, who still has the lead.
This is astonishing, isn't it? Harrison 7.8 seconds ahead of Hillier at Glen Helen of those riders that have come through. Michael Dunlop does now arrive, and as you say, he is bottom of the 7 riders that have come through so far. Will drop further than that, you'd imagine, as more later starters appear. But Todd arrives, and he's only 2.2 seconds down on Harrison. So it's Harrison from Todd by 2.2 seconds. It was Todd who led initially in race 1, but it's Harrison got the advantage from the get-go today.
It looks as though Michael Dunlop has started to break away from Josh Brooks. So if he did have some slight issues on the first section of the first lap, it may have sorted them out now, out already. He could have run on somewhere. That's always a possibility. We have seen him in a few races this week come from behind, you know, a slower first lap, and then just build and get on the podium and even win races from not a fantastic first lap. So not all is lost.
It would need to be a heck of a comeback. He's conceded 17 seconds on the run out to Glen Helen. Dean Harrison is through there in 4 minutes 14. Michael Dunlop 4:31.6. So it's 17 seconds he's down at Glen Helen,
which is a frightening amount of time, isn't it? But we've seen him do some fantastic things this week and in previous TTs. A couple of weeks before the TT at the Northwest 200, he went on to win a race after having a couple of run-ons on the first lap. So not all is lost for Michael Dunlop, but if he does want to win this race or even get on the podium, he really does have his work cut out.
Dean Harrison is already chasing down John McGuinness as they head over Wren Cullen on the way out of Kirkmichael. So Dean will want to clear his teammate as quickly as possible, although McGuinness is holding on to a top 6 position at Glen Helen. Let's give you that leaderboard. Dean Harrison on the Honda leading Davy Todd's BMW by 2.2 seconds. Ian Hutchinson is then 2.8 down on Todd in 3rd. Then James Hillier is only 2.7 down on that, on Hutchinson in 4th. Then Connor Cummins now slots into 5th. Only, well, almost level with James Hillier. Then Nathan Harrison, 0.2 of a second down on Cummins. John McGuinness, therefore, shuffled down to 7th. Only 0.4 of a second down on Harrison. Rest of the top 10 is Rob Hodson, James Hind and Paul Jordan. As we get the top 20 or so through Glen Helen, and Dean Harrison and John McGuinness are through Ballaugh.
How popular would an Ian Hutchinson podium be here at the TT? It's that man has gone through a lot. He's had some serious injuries. You can tell he's really giving it everything, and to see him on the podium would be fantastic for everyone involved.
We're hearing there are no reports of a Dunlop overshoot that we're aware of. So who knows what the problem has been? Maybe it was something technical on the bike and he's managed to get it chimed in and away.
Perhaps it could be. I think we'll see by the time the guys get to Ballaugh Bridge if he continues to slip down the leaderboard at Ballaugh. That might be our questions answered. And here he is approaching Ballaugh Bridge now. It looks like Davy Todd is behind him on the road. I can't see Josh Brooks anywhere, but Davy Todd caught Michael Dunlop, and that'll be a 20-second difference they set off, wouldn't it? So, yeah, he's caught him by 20 seconds.
And with that carrot, Todd has closed in on Harrison. It was 2.2 seconds at Glen Helen. It's been halved. 1.1 seconds at Ballaugh. Harrison leads Todd by. So Todd is going for it early this time. He was obviously aware of what happened when Dean got that Honda chiming on the 2-lap race that we had the other day and really just came back and blitzed him. Todd knows he needs to be right on this.
Absolutely. Dean Harrison is one of the riders who really is able to push from the get-go and have really fast, spectacular first laps. But if Davy Todd, well, we know Davy Todd is on a similar pace to Dean. He's only 1.1 behind him at Ballaugh Bridge. But what Davy has now, he has Michael Dunlop in front of him, which he can use as a bit of a gauge. And if Dunlop has fixed the issues that he may or may not be having, Davy will be able to use Michael Dunlop down the big straights that are coming up. They're not far away from Sulby Straight, so that's a section of the track that can really use Michael Dunlop's slipstream to help him along. We're looking at the speed trap times now, and Michael Dunlop does look to be about 5 or 10 mile an hour slower than we've seen him in Superstock spec, so perhaps there's a little issue with the top speed of that BMW.
Harrison leads on the road through the K-tree. Harrison has moved past teammate John McGuinness. Harrison leads on the road at the K-tree on lap 1. He leads by 1.1 seconds only in the race from Davy Todd. Then Ian Hutchinson is holding on to a fantastic third, 9.6 seconds down on Todd on the MLAV BMW. Then Connor Cummins is up to 4th, 1.4 seconds down on Hutchinson as James Hillier drops back to 5th, but only by 4/100ths of a second. Rob Hodson is up to 6th. Oh, in fact, Nathan Harrison usurps him. Nathan Harrison takes 6th, only 0.3 of a second down on Hillier, and next to nothing down on Connor Cummins, therefore. Then Rob Hodson is now 7th, John McGuinness in 8th, Dominic Herbertson and James Hind rounding out the top 10 as we wait for them into Ramsey. This is close, it's really close. Harrison is through the Ramsey checkpoint and heading into the hairpin. McGuinness is also there, about 3 seconds behind him on the road. So we wait for Todd next to see what's happened in terms of the race. Harrison and McGuinness on to the climb of the mountain, Mike.
Yeah, we wait to see whether or not Davy Todd has managed to pass Michael Dunlop on the road. I have a feeling that he will be able to. My forecast of him using Michael Dunlop as a bit of a slipstream to drag him up towards Dean Harrison, I don't think that's going to work. Looking at the speed trap times of Michael Dunlop, 186 miles an hour compared to 190 plus miles an hour for a lot of the rest of the front runners in this race. So Michael Dunlop's got his work cut out if he's going to muscle that underpowered BMW to the end of this race in a respectable position.
Waiting then on Davy Todd to arrive. Todd leads at Ramsey on lap 1 by 2/100ths of a second. It's practically neck and neck. Todd leads Harrison, a lead change at Ramsey on lap 1 of this OPUL Superstock TT race 2 by just 2/100ths of a second. We then have to wait for Ian Hutchinson to come through. We have James Hillier through, Josh Brooks, Michael Dunlop, John McGuinness, David Johnson. We're waiting for Hutchinson and Cummins and Nathan Harrison and Rob Hodson to come through before we can give an idea of the top 6, because they're all involved in the shake-up. But lead change, Ramsey lap 1.
Doesn't get a lot closer than that, does it? 2/100ths of a second, the lead. I think that's obviously Davy Todd's obviously found a little bit of extra speed on that section of the lap. We do know though that Dean Harrison is fantastic over the mountain. So let's see where that lead stands at the bungalow.
And with Michael Dunlop, we do now hear that there was an overshoot at Braddon on the opening lap, so just into the opening miles, an overshoot for Michael Dunlop, so he knows in his own mind he's fighting back now.
He's fighting back, and he's also got a bike that he's struggling with down the straights by the looks of it. We can see that it's not just that caused the issue, because obviously Davy Todd has overtaken him, and it has started to gap him, which you wouldn't really expect to happen quite so fast. There's a number of things that can happen that can cause a bike to be down on power. I can remember one year at the TTI, sucked a crow into the air intake on a ZX10, and it just slowed the bike down that little bit, and it made the difference between top speed and a little bit slower. So what we might also find is that because Michael Dunlop's bike's a little bit more sluggish than he's used to, he'll be using a little bit more throttle, and he might find that he uses more fuel come the pit stop.
Potential trouble for Ian Hutchinson. He's dropped from 3rd place down to 14th and last of the riders through Ramsey hairpin so far. So real issue there for Ian Hutchinson on the run between Ballaugh and Ramsey. It's Todd, and in fact we see Ian Hutchinson pulling over at the hairpin by the looks of it.
Ian Hutchinson looks as though he's retiring. I can't tell if he's pulling off the circuit completely or he's just pulled away to let I can't tell who that was. past him. So we might see Ian Hutchinson pulling off to the side of this race and retiring, which would be a real shame, especially when we were seeing him in a potential podium position.
So that shuffles James Hillier up to third at Ramsey on the opening lap. 15 seconds down on this battle for the lead between Todd and Harrison. Nathan Harrison is up to fourth place now, only 1.3 seconds down on Hillier, and that's only 0.4 of a second ahead of Connor Cummins on the Burrows Engineering bike. Dominic Herbertson is then 2 seconds down on Cummins in sixth. Then it's Rob Hudson, only half a second down on Herbertson. Then Josh Brooks in eighth. Michael Dunlop now up to ninth and a quarter of a second down on Brooks. Then Mike Brown is only 0.6 of a second down on Dunlop as our leaders come. Harrison's taken the lead back at the bungalow. Harrison leads by 1.1 seconds. He's flowing up the mountain climb as Dean Harrison on that Honda really stretched his legs. He's gone from losing the lead at Ramsey to snatching it back on the bungalow on lap one.
Yes, this is what we love TT Racing for, isn't it? Such an exciting race so far, and we're only on lap one. And yeah, the guys will be getting the pit boards and figuring out. You know, there's no possible way that they can let up when the race for the lead is this close. Them boys will be giving it absolutely everything they've got to try and get to the end of this lap in the lead. Of course, we have pit stops at the end of the lap. That may or may not change things up. We did see Davey Todd have a little bit of an issue in the pit stop a couple of days ago, so they'll be working on just getting everything perfect, getting the fuel in the bike as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Perhaps they'll have a visor change, perhaps they won't. It'll depend on the fly situation out there. If there's a lot of bugs, they'll be looking at getting a new visor on. But yeah, they'll be coming in the pits in a matter of moments.
Harrison then leading on the road is already down through Brandish, making his way down to Hilbury at the bungalow. It was 1.1 seconds Harrison led Todd. Then James Hillier is through now in third, 19.2 seconds down on Todd. We're waiting on Nathan Harrison to arrive, who was holding on to fourth. We have Connor Cummins also through in fifth. Michael Dunlop is up to sixth, so he is on a charge up. We've got one or two other later starters still to come into this. Then Josh Brooks and Dominic Herbertson, as we have Harrison through Cronknamona and in fact through Signposted on his way down to Bedstead. He'll be with us for the all-important pit stop very, very soon. They're on a 133.8 type pace, and given conditions aren't brilliant out there, that's spectacular.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, it's to commit and to push that hard on the first lap is one thing, but when to do that when conditions aren't fantastic, it's yeah, it really is impressive. We're just seeing Dean Harrison go through probably the dampest, scariest part of the course now, the Governor's Bridge, and it's always damp under there. It's always scary. So yeah, he's on Glen Crutchley Road now, and he's about to come into the pit lane.
Let's get down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, it's 1.2 at Cronknamona. Dean Harrison leads. David Todd goes going up 0.1 of a second. The number 3 machine, the Honda UK Fireblade, comes in. I don't think we're going to see a wheel change here on this one yet. Stops right in the box. The rear stand goes in here. The klaxon go once more. So Dean Harrison across the line. So Harrison, Todd, Hillier, Dunlop, Brooks, McGuinness and Johnson all through Cronknamona. John McGuinness is second bike in. So the two Hondas are in. Good photo opportunity here for them too. They're just checking the rear brake there, just having a little look round the machine. Dean takes on a bit of fuel, so across the Cronknamona split it was 1.2, and Hillier then 22 seconds back, and here is Davo Johnson in number 2 as Dino gets away. Can he do the Superstock double? What's that speed? And there he goes on the UK rider Dean Harrison, Laxey resident, blast down the top of Bray Hill, and here comes John McGuinness. Big fan base is John McGuinness, and John gets away. Here's Hillier, so Hillier slots in the provisional second at the moment, but we're waiting for the number 8 machine, and we're also going to keep an eye. Here he is, Davy Todd. The lead, it's half a second, 0.584, and here's Michael Dunlop, who's got right in the back of Davy Todd again. Michael Dunlop, on corrected time at the moment, it's only 0.37 back off James Hillier, and there is James Hillier, who's just got away. So we got Davo Johnson in, we got Davy Todd in, we got Josh Brooks just in as well on the Jackson Racing Honda. He goes into his pit. Guys, I tell you what, it's busy in here, and Davy Todd again has got problems. Remember the Superbike race, 1 minute and 1 in the pit stop. He's lost another 6 or 7 seconds. She's not firing up, and Michael Dunlop crucially has got ahead of Davy Todd on the road now, so this is going to change the whole complexion of the race. Has Michael Dunlop's machine sorted itself out? But Davy Todd, it won't fire. There she goes. She's got away to Davy Todd. Oh dear me, Mike Brown and Josh Brooks nearly having a bit of a come together there, so I'm going to say he has lost loads of time. We'll get that pit stop time for you at the moment. Here's Connor Cummins. Connor is showing really, really well. Let's get the pit stop times. Chris Boyd, that was what we say at TT. Drama indeed, wasn't it?
Absolutely. It's cost Davy Todd nearly 12 seconds. Harrison's pit stop time 36.968 seconds. Davy Todd 48.596. So that's all going to translate into, about a 13-second lead Dean Harrison has heading out of the pit stops, Chris.
Yeah, coming into the pit stops, though, we have a new third place man, Connor Cummins, who's just leaving now on the Burris Engineering by RK Racing machine. He gets away, does Connor on the BMW. The Ramsey, massive up there up the north, will be cheering him on as he come through. So into the pits, and Harrison led by 0.584 from Todd. But then he had 23 seconds to Connor, so that's going to drop that down to probably about 12-ish sort of seconds. Obviously, we'll get the corrected times and they go through Glen Helen as Rob Hodson comes in on the 15 bike. And there goes Dominic Herbertson, about to leave us all. Dominic holding on to provisionally into the pits. 7th position for Dominic. So Rob Hodson is in at the moment, just a little bit further up there, just straining my eyes to see past the TV Plus cameraman. It's all been action in here. And again, that pit stop for Davy Todd has might have put a big hole in his race. Let's get number 17, Sean Anderson, in. Chris Boyd.
Pit stop will have put Connor Cummins back, James Hillier back into third. Connor did a 39.8 second, but James Hillier did a 34.0. So it will be James Hillier who reclaims third place in the pit stops.
16, James Hind is in at the moment. Done that lovely Castrol Honda paintwork for him. Yeah, pit stops again. Tell the story at the Isle of Man, don't we? Where's James Hind slotting into? Uncorrected time. 11th position coming into the pit stop, where we still have so many coming in. Hutchie's made it here anyway, and Hutchie straight off the bike. Disappointment for that. I was looking back. He looks mega disappointed. He obviously got on the podium at the Northwest 200. He was looking for his first podium since 2017. Didn't happen, unfortunately. So 12 is a time in the pits as Mikey Evans is coming on 21. Mikey slots into 18th. 13th at the moment on the Dafabet bike, as Josh Brooks' teammate Paul Jordan comes in and out of the pits on the number 20 machine. Here's number 18, Phil Crow. Phil Crow slotting into at the moment, corrected time into the pits on 17th place. And Mikey Evans, Dafabet Honda, just having a few problems getting going for the now 32-year-old Manxman. Hopefully he's going to fire it up. There she goes. Danny and the boys pushing hard and getting it gone. And Mick O'Sweeney comes in, and also Brian McCormack comes in. But yeah, unfortunate retirement for the Mubob BMW, the MLAV racing machine of Ian Hutchinson, as Brian McCormack and Michael Sweeney, the Southern Irishman, are in for their pits. We'll take one more in. One more, taking it nice and easy. It's Marcus Simpson, it is. And Marcus Simpson on the 32 bike slots just inside the top 20.
Thank you very much, Chris. Let's have a look then at those opening laps. And it was Dean Harrison, obviously, who was fastest, leading the race. 16 minutes 57.716, 133.464. Davy Todd on the BMW, 133.387. Connor Cummins, 130.378. James Hillier, 130.241. Michael Dunlop, despite that run on at Braddon, 130.236. Nathan Harrison, 130.017. We know then that Todd had trouble getting the BMW fired up on the way out of the pits and has conceded a 12 or so seconds to Harrison, so the lead's gone out to 13. Connor Cummins has conceded third place as well to James Hillier, so James Hillier will be into third and then Connor Cummins fourth. As we wait for them at Glen Helen, Mike, and we'll get this all reshuffled.
We will. It looks as though there's a real battle on for the lower places on the podium, with Connor Cummins, Nathan Harrison, Michael Dunlop now, whose bike looks like it might have sorted itself out, and of course James Hillier. Those guys in the standings, within a few seconds of each other, so a real tight one for those positions.
Leading riders coming through Glen Helen on lap 2 of this OPUL Superstock TT Race 2. Alan Venter has just picked up a 30-second pit lane penalty, 68 kilometres an hour for Alan Venter, so well over the 60 permitted. Dunlop is with Hillier on the road as well, and he's making the comeback. Let's see how far up the leaderboard he can get.
Yeah, be very interested to find out just what went on that first lap with Michael Dunlop, because we heard there may have been a run on at Braddon Bridge, I think. We did see his bike going a little bit slower down Sulby Straight, so is there a problem with the bike? Is there a problem with Michael Dunlop himself? Yeah, it remains to be seen, but it looks like it might be, whatever it was, has cured itself.
The red mist is down, I think, here for Michael Dunlop. He's climbing up the leaderboard all the time. We wait on Connor Cummins to come in, but he's overhauled James Hillier on that leaderboard. He shows a third. Well, where he's third, it looks like he is third in the race already. Michael Dunlop coming back. He dropped that 17 seconds in the opening run out to Glen Helen. He is now only 16.2 seconds behind Todd in second. So Harrison leads, as we thought, by 13.3 seconds, which is what we said out of the pit stops with the troubles that Davy Todd has. And then Dunlop is 16.2 seconds down on Todd at Glen Helen, lap 2. Then James Hillier is 4th, 1.2 seconds down on Dunlop. Connor Cummins in 5th. 3.5 seconds down on Hillier. Josh Brooks is showing in 6th at the moment, but we await the arrival of Nathan Harrison, who is holding on to 6th place coming out of the pit stop.
We've just seen John McGuinness, I should say, absolutely flat out through Kirkmichael and over the first jump at Rencullen. He's such he looks so comfortable on that Fireblade as John McGuinness. When you see John McGuinness ride, it looks like he isn't even trying. Believe you me, he is, and he's going very fast. But he's got such a comfortable style on the bike. It makes it almost makes it look easy round here.
Let's get back down to Chris Kinley in the pits.
Yeah, just got Dave Rigby. He's right to the pit lane there, number 59. He's local man. He slots in the 33rd position. Eddie Frere's just gone as well on the 36 bike. He's slotting under 22nd position at the moment. Here's Kevin Keys coming in on 60. Also Baz Ferber. Where do they slot in? Kevin Keys in 34th, and just ahead of him, and about 5 or 6 pit stops down, is Baz Ferber. Baz is in 34th. Kevin Keys in 36. 43 is just in as well. Matt Stevenson on the 43 bike. He slots in the 33rd. That's Dave Rigby going past us there now. Had a bit of a spill earlier on in the week, but he's perfectly fine to be out in this race. And one more machine just coming in, 49, just slotting in there. Is that 49 or 59? Hard to see. Yeah, 49. I'm just going to pick up where 49 slots in. Yeah, Lucas Mora again had to scroll up a bit into 26th position as Kevin Keys and Baz Ferber set off down pit lane together. Look out the top of Bray Hill. Here they come. Look out for that one. And another machine coming in. That's 34. Yeah, it is. It's Joe Yeardsley popping in. Where does Joe slot into for Manx listeners? Laxey Massive especially. Number 34 slots in the 33rd position.
Thank you very much. We wait for them then at Ballath, and Todd just arrives at Ballath. The lead's gone out again. Harrison on the Honda looking for the Superstock double. He leads by 15.3 seconds over Davy Todd's BMW. Then Michael Dunlop shows in third, 18.4 seconds down on Todd, so that's gone out by over 2 seconds on the run between Glen Helen and Ballath as well. James Hillier fourth. Then we wait for Connor Cummins and Nathan Harrison to come in. We have Josh Brooks through, who's holding 7th in the race. Then John Herbertson is holding on to 8th. Then it will be John McGuinness and Dave O'Johnson, the other man, out through Ballath. No reported retirements as yet in this Superstock Race 2.
It's just starting to extend those leads at the front, isn't it? We thought Michael Dunlop was fighting his way back to the podium positions. Well, it looks like he's found himself on the podium now, but I don't think if Davy Todd and Dean Harrison have got anything to do with it, he'll be getting any further up, because they are just pulling away from him in the race. We wait to see when he gets down Sulby Straight what those speed trap times are. I'll be interested to see whether or not his bike is as fast as it was in Superstock race 1, where it was very fast. At Superstock race 2 today, it doesn't look as fast at all.
We said no reported retirement so far. Ian Hutchinson, Chris Kinley has just come into the pits.
Yeah, no, Ian Hutchinson into the pits a couple of minutes ago, Boydie, and he is a retirement, unfortunately, on that MLAV Racing Moobob machine. And also 47, Tom Robinson, a regular Manx Grand Prix competitor for years. He's also retirement here in the pits. As 63 heads out there, Sam Johnson.
Yeah, we did think Hutchinson had trouble. He was pulling over at Ramsey Hairpin, we thought, but he did proceed from there. So, Ballath Bridge, lap 2 of 3 in this Opel Superstock TT Race 2. Dean Harrison on the Honda leading by 15.3 seconds from Davy Todd. Then Michael Dunlop in third, 18.4 seconds down on Todd, and he conceded all of that right at the start of the race. James Hillier is then showing in fourth, with Connor Cummins in fifth. We await Nathan Harrison's arrival at Ballath Bridge as Dean Harrison makes it into the Ramsey Hairpin.
Michael Dunlop down Sulby Straight, still 10 miles an hour slower than the rest of the field. He's looking at 181 miles an hour compared to 194 miles an hour of Dean Harrison, so he'll be twisting that throttle as hard as he can to try and get a little bit more power out of it. Probably quite frustrating when he sees the other guys on the track pulling away from him. So he'll be trying his best to just make up for that as much as he can by braking as late as he possibly can, throwing the bike into the corners and getting on the power as early as he can, just to make up for that slight loss of power at the very top end.
We're waiting for Davey Todd, second place man, to arrive at Ramsey Hairpin so we get an idea of the lead. But news from Rage Control: Mark Parrott has hit a bird. He's stopped at Cregnabar, he's hit a bird, he thinks he's broken his arm. It was his 98th start. The senior was due to have been his 100th. The bid to get there this year might be over. Parrott hits a bird.
What a disappointment for Mark Parrott, but these things can happen. I said before, I've smashed into a bird myself at the Isle of Man TT a few years ago, and it can seriously hurt if it catches you on your body. It can seriously damage your bike. It can smash screens, and if it goes in the wrong part, if it goes in your air intake, it can sap a lot of power from your bike. Which, that may be something like that's happened to Michael Dunlop.
Harrison then is putting on a big push out of the pit stop here. He's pushed the lead now out to 17.5 seconds. It was helped by Todd's issues in the pit stop, but nonetheless, even from there, he's piled another 4 or so seconds on this run on lap 2 as far as Ramsey so far. Harrison on the Honda leading by 17.5 seconds from Davey Todd. Michael Dunlop then up to third and ruining that start to the race, 20.9 seconds down on Todd. James Hillier having another great race at TT 2025 for James, 2.7 seconds down on Michael Dunlop only, which has gone out a little bit by about half a second from where we were at Ballaugh. Then Connor Cummins shows us 5th, but Nathan Harrison was holding on to that position at Ballaugh, so we'll wait for Nathan to come in at Ramsey Hairpin. Then it will be Connor Cummins in 6th, Josh Brooks in 7th. Then we've got John McGuinness, David Johnson and Mike Brown all on the climb of the mountain, but we know we're waiting as well on Rob Hodson and James Hind. They're to come through back at Ballaugh. It was the low part of the leaderboard was 7th place for Josh Brooks, 8th Dominic Herbertson, 9th for John McGuinness, 10th Rob Hodson, 11th Dave O'Johnson, 12th Mike Brown, 13th James Hind, 14th for Mikey Evans, 15th Sean Anderson and 16th Brian McCormack.
Still in the mix is James Hillier, really, isn't it? He's still, yes, 2.7 seconds behind Dunlop, but that's not an insurmountable gap, is it? We saw Hillier on the podium in the first Supersport race, 4th place in this race. He'll be looking to try his best to go one better off, and with only a gap of 2.7 seconds from Michael Dunlop, it's not out of the question. If he's got pit boards to let him know exactly where he is, he'll be thinking about possibly trying his best to bridge that gap and get another podium before the TT's out.
We wondered why James Hind has dropped down the leaderboard a little bit there at Ballaugh. Ramsey rather, he stopped at Sulby Bridge. He thought the bike was overheating. He has now proceeded. So a stop for James Hind, which will have cost him a lot of time, but he has now proceeded.
It will. It's always best though if you think you've got a bit of an issue with your bike, it's not worth carrying on. It's always worth stopping, checking it, because if there is an issue, if he ends up overheating and popping his engine up on the mountain section of the TT course, it could be disastrous. So always best off to check.
And Paul Jordan has stopped on the Jackson by Prosper bike out at Ballacrane, so Paul Jordan's race over as well. The leading riders are through the bungalow. Todd arrives and it's gone out again. It's gone up from 17.5 to 19. That Honda's got some power on the climb of the mountain, Mike.
It has, and it's a section where Dean Harrison has always been really strong. So we've seen him pushing hard over the mountain before, and to extend that lead, that's exactly what he's doing. And it looks as though with a lap and a bit to go and a 19-second lead already is I think things are going well for a second Superstock win for Dean Harrison in TT 2025.
Absolutely tremendous that would be. The Honda team will really be celebrating if they do the double in the race that really translates to sales, if you like, the Superstock bike race. So Harrison leading by 19 seconds from Todd. Michael Dunlop is slipping out again. It keeps going out this gap every sector as well. 22.8 seconds down on Todd in third, but that's now 5 seconds up on Hillier, who is in fourth. We wait then Nathan Harrison to arrive. He is through Ramsey Hairpin, continuing to hold on to fifth place and 6 seconds down on Dunlop at Ramsey Hairpin, as Harrison is already at Cronknamona. This is lightning quick.
It is. It's fast and furious. These truncated lap count races really do come at you thick and fast, don't they? So, yeah, Dean Harrison about to finish lap 2 of 3. He'll be just steady away around these last couple of sections, because he knows, you know, he'll know he's got a big lead, and he knows you can destroy your race by pushing too hard under the nook round Governor's Bridge. That's where the circuit keeps, you know, even in good conditions, it can be greasy and slippy through there. So he'll be tiptoeing around there, getting on Glencrutchery Road, and yeah, giving it the berries. And we'll see him past the grandstand any moment now.
We will indeed. He's coming on to Glencrutchery Road. Paul Jordan is currently on the Archalagan Straight, if the team want to know where he is, making his way back by the back roads. But there goes Harrison. Lap 2, including the pit stop, is 130.264 miles per hour. It's a race lead heading out onto the final circuit for the Honda man. Dean Harrison trying to do the Superstock double here at TT 2025. He's got this well in hand. It's over 20 seconds at Cronknamona, 20.2 seconds at Cronknamona, as we wait for the next riders to come through here at the TT grandstand. Harrison has it in hand. John McGuinness is still circulating there as well, but it's obviously Davy Todd we're looking for in terms of the leaderboard. Michael Dunlop is also through Cronknamona, so too James Hillier and Dave O'Johnson. As we wait for Glencrutchery, he's got a huge lead on the road now, Dean Harrison, hasn't he, Mike?
Yeah, he has, and I'm just looking at the speed trap times again. I'm sorry to bang on about these speed traps, but we just we know that Michael Dunlop's bike again is just off the not quite as fast as we'd expect it to. So yeah, again, he's down in the speed trap times down Glencrutchery Road. I do wonder what the issue is. We have seen him with a very fast bike in all the classes that he's raced in so far. And yeah, this is the first time through TT 2025 he's not topped the speed trap time. So yeah, that's translating to a third place rather than first place, where we've already seen him 3 times this week.
John McGuinness is still second on the road through here at the TT grandstand, but Davy Todd from start number 8 is third on the road, just ahead of James Hillier. In the race, that translates to 20 seconds almost exactly. Harrison leads by 20 seconds with 37.73 miles to go of this Opel Superstock TT Race 2. Harrison from Todd. Then Dunlop is 25.2 seconds down on Todd in third. Then James Hillier holding on to fourth, and we wait for Nathan Harrison to arrive, who was in fifth. He's through the bungalow. He's not yet at Cronknamona. So let's give you those lap 2 times for Dean Harrison. This includes the pit stop. It was 17 minutes 22.717, 130.264. For Davy Todd, it was 127.879 with all those issues getting away from the pit stop. Then James Hillier 127.125, Michael Dunlop 127.8, and Josh Brooks 126.457. We look to see, has Nathan made it to Cronknamona as yet? Not as yet. We wait for him. He should be perhaps the next, oh no, might be another couple of bikes away. Actually, we've got Rob Hodson and Dominic Herbertson through. We'll wait for him, and then we'll get a proper idea of where this race stands. But Harrison really has this totally in command, doesn't he?
He does. We saw him, yeah, we've seen him dominate TT races before, but I think the domination in yeah, the way he's doing it today is it's very, very impressive, isn't it? He's not just going to win this race. Keeping our fingers crossed, he makes it to the end of this lap. It doesn't look like he's just going to win. It looks like he's going to absolutely dominate.
Absolutely. Nathan Harrison then has made Cronknamona and continues to hold on to 5th place behind James Hillier. Then it's Connor Cummins in 6th, Josh Brooks in 7th, Dominic Herbertson 8th, John McGuinness shows 9th, then Rob Hodson in 10th, Dave O'Johnson 11th, Mike Brown 12th, and Sean Anderson 13th, with James Hind having made that stop 14th of the 14 riders through Crocknamona. We're looking for Nathan Harrison coming across the line. He's on to Glen Crutchy Road. He'll flash past and we'll get the indication of whether he holds on to 5th. Here he goes. On the H&H bike. He's dropped to 6th, so Connor Cummins has got past him in the Battle of the Manxman. It's Harrison leads Todd, then Dunlop in 3rd at the end of lap 2. Hillier 4th, then Connor Cummins moves up to 5th now on the Burrows bike. He's 7 seconds down on James Hillier and 1/4 of a second up on Nathan Harrison. So position change right at the end of lap 2 for that top 6 position. 5th for Cummins, 6th for Nathan Harrison. Josh Brooks holds on to 7th. Dominic Herbertson in 8th. Then John McGuinness 9th and Rob Hodson rounding out the top 10 as Dean Harrison way away at the front of this race, riding on his own, enjoying his bank holiday ride around the Isle of Man. He's already out through Glen Helen.
These are probably the laps that you can enjoy the most, aren't they? The ones where you've got a big old buffer behind. You've got the lead of a TT. You've got a big buffer behind. The conditions are good. He can go out there and ride to his, ride as fast as he wants, knowing that he's safe. He doesn't have to push too hard, because if he just gets to the end of the lap with a good pace, he's going to take another TT win.
It's lovely conditions for a ride around on the Isle of Man today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic conditions. Yeah, apart from the odd damp patches that we heard about before the session. But to be fair, I think by the time by this point, by lap 3 of 3, we've had 50 or 60 bikes going round. They'll all be drying the track. The sections where it's a little bit damp will be minimal now. The sun's shining, there's a bit of a breeze, so I think all Dean needs to do is enjoy this lap, not worry about the wet bits, and get to the end and take another TT win.
You think that's all he needs to do? He's just on the fastest sector of the race out to Glen Helen.
Okay, so maybe he's pushing just as hard now as he has all race.
And it's extended his lead again very slightly over Davy Todd. It's now 20.9 seconds, not quite a second added on the run out to Glen Helen. Then Michael Dunlop is now 26.3 seconds down on Todd, but still holding on to 3rd. Let's go down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, it could be disappointment here for Michael. Mikko Sweeney looks like he's going to be in retirement. He's looking over to the left. Yeah, the chain is just, I'm not going to say it because it'll go down. The chain is just kind of looking as if it wants to jump off. So yeah, very, very loose and slack. And Mikko, with all his experience, he'll know that. Shaking the head from the Skerries man. And unfortunately, Mikko is going to be a retirement, which is a big shame. And chain, Mikko, yeah? Chain off, Mikko?
Yeah, chain just jumping, chain's got after stretching and it's hanging off it there, and it's just jumping the sprocket. I can't power out of turns at all, it's just jumping the sprocket.
Well, they give you a big round of applause in the grandstand. Thanks for your time, Mikko. So Mikko, a retirements. Back to you, Chris.
Let's try and get a little bit further down the leaderboard whilst these guys are making their way up out to Balaf. Dean Harrison led at the end of lap 2 from Davy Todd by 20 seconds. Michael Dunlop was 25.2 seconds down on Todd. Then the rest of the top 10 was James Hillier, Connor Cummins, who'd grabbed 5th, Nathan Harrison in 6th, Josh Brooks 7th, Dominic Herbertson in 8th, John McGuinness 9th and Rob Hodson in 10th. 11th to 15th were Davo Johnson, Mike Brown, Mikey Evans, Sean Anderson and Brian McCormack. And the rest of the top 20, 16th for Philip Crow. Then Mitch Reese is up to 17th, going along very nicely indeed. Then James Hind with that issue, dropping him down to 18th, 19th for Erno Costamo and 20th for Marcus Simpson, just into the top 20, with Mikko Sweeney retiring there from 21st place. So we look for them next at Balaf, and such is the pace of this race that Harrison is already there, our race leader. He's got the message, I think, because the sector time has gone out by about 3 seconds from the opening lap. So I think he's now got the message that this is in hand, Mike Booth.
To see Mitch Reese, isn't it, in the top 20 in his maiden TT. He's shown promise since the beginning of practice week. He's just he's gone about it the absolute perfect way. He's built his speed. He's not gone daft. He's just learnt the circuit and built his way through it. And yeah, we see him in the top 20 of a TT. Great to see.
Two riders going side by side past us here at the grandstand. I think one of those might have been Barry Burrell as they head out onto their final lap of this Opel Superstock TT Race 3. Dean Harrison, the only man through Ballaugh, and he's been through there for quite some while now. He's way out in front on the road. It's John McGuinness who's second on the road, and he arrives at Ballaugh now, so it shouldn't be too much longer before we get Davy Todd, who is running third on the road. Todd arrives. He's cut it a little bit. He's taken 1.7 seconds out of it, but we know Harrison has possibly got the message and is just now controlling this from the front. It's 19.2 seconds. Harrison leads Todd by Ballaugh on the final lap. Then Michael Dunlop is now nearly 30 seconds down on Todd, 29.2. Then James Hillier in fourth. Some action in the pits, Chris.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ballymoney man Daryl Tweed looked like he's going to be a retirement on the Never Be Clever R1 machine. He went to stop to the pits at the top there, maybe a couple of friends, and he just give me a look and give me a shake of the head. So it looks like he is going to be a retirement. The number 45, Daryl Tweed.
What a shame, absolutely. Daryl Tweed, someone we always look for in these races. They are on, in case of Dean Harrison, 134 pace. Davy Todd just a little bit quicker than that, having set quicker sector times, with Dean maybe just easing off a little, 134.5 type pace for Davy Todd out to Ballaugh. Dunlop then, as we say, is through, nearly 30 seconds down on that. We continue to wait on Nathan Harrison to get there, and Connor Cummins. We've got James Hillier, Josh Brooks and John McGuinness and Dave O'Johnson all out through Ballaugh on this final lap. So it is Cummins, Harrison and Dominic Herbertson that are waiting for out of our top 8, and Rob Hodson, who was holding on to 10th. Cummins arrives there now, and it looks like he continues to hold on to 5th place. It was the leader gone out to 1.4 seconds over Nathan Harrison at Glen Helen. We'll see what it is in about 70 seconds or so when we get Nathan Harrison out through Ballaugh. Then it's Brooks, McGuinness and Johnson, but we know we've got other riders still to filter in as we are halfway around the final lap of this Superstock TT Race 2, and Dean Harrison looks all set to do the double.
He does, yeah. There's some battles all the way through this race, aren't there? But yeah, you're right. Dean Harrison, yeah, he just looks as though he's, looking at the times. Looks like Davy Todd's thinking about just catching him by a couple of tenths here and there, but nothing that'll mean anything when you've got a 19-second lead. He doesn't need to push as hard as he possibly can. That said, when you start letting off the pace, you do end up, we've talked about it earlier in the week, you do end up riding the bike slightly differently. And if you've got a bike set up to do a particular pace and you ride slower than that pace, you're not using the brakes as hard as you usually would. You're not using the suspension in the same way, and things don't keep warm, and things aren't being used properly. So it's one thing, just not trying quite so hard, but you just need to be careful if you do that you don't drop the pace off too much and things start being used outside of the zone.
Harrison is up through Ramsey, but looking back at Ballaugh, Nathan Harrison continues to hold on to that fantastic 6th place on the H&H Honda. He is 4.4 seconds down on Connor Cummins, so we can now say we have a representative top 10, Harrison, Todd, Dunlop, Hillier, Cummins, then Nathan Harrison. Then in 7th place, Josh Brooks is only 1 second down on Nathan. Then John McGuinness is 9.7 seconds down on Brooks. Dominic Herbertson is only 0.8 of a second down on John McGuinness in 9th. And then in 10th place, Dave O'Johnson, 11.8 seconds down on Herbertson, with Rob Hodson, Mike Brown and Sean Anderson, the other men, through Ballaugh. As we now have Ramsey in, Todd's cut it just a little bit again, 18.5 seconds, but you get the impression Harrison has this totally under control.
Yeah, he'll have to. David Todd will have to catch Dean by more than a couple of tenths a sector, won't he? If he wants to bridge an 18.5 second gap. They've got about less than half a lap to go now. It's just the mountain section and the last little bit into Ramsey left. Dean will be nursing that bike over the mountain, listening for any funny noises. He'll probably start hearing things as you do when you're on the last lap of a TT. But he'll be trying to get that bike to the end of the race without running out of fuel, without breaking anything, without being too rough on his gearbox, and take another win at the TT.
He's out into the gorgeous bright sunshine on the climb over the mountain now. Dean Harrison enjoying that ride over the mountain on our bank holiday for TT racing. Harrison has a 1.5 mile in hand for this final run. He's just got to be listening for everything, I'm sure, at this stage, because it is the second race on these standard bikes.
Yeah, and we've said it before, the Isle of Man does things to motorcycles that nowhere else in the world would. You know, you're holding these engines flat out for a minute at a time in places without any roll off. You're up and down the gearbox hundreds of times a lap. You 150, 60, 70 mile an hour over bumps and over jumps, and the thing's getting bounced around. The engine's having a hard time, the brakes are having a hard time, the tyres, the chassis, all them extra little bits and pieces that are holding the fairing on, that are holding the exhaust pipe on. It really does get a hard time. So yeah, just to get one of these bikes to the end of a TT is an effort in itself.
Absolutely. Connor Cummins is through his hometown on Ramsey. He's on the climb of the mountain. He's on his way to a top 6 finish here in this Superstock TT Race 2. He's holding on to 5th place as Dean Harrison arrives at the bungalow. So he's made the climb of the mountain. It's now the run across the top and then the plunge down through Kate's Cottage down to Craignabar to come for the race leader, Dean Harrison. We wait then on John McGuinness, who still holds second on the road, and then Davy Todd to make it to the bungalow. As we see a couple of riders very, very close together here, trying to identify who it might be. It might be John McGuinness and Davy Todd, possibly. I think Todd might have caught McGuinness on the road here and is desperately trying to get past him. He's just had to back out of it a little bit there, going into the veranda.
I think that's, you're right. I think it is Davy Todd, and we're just about to see him potentially overhaul John McGuinness on the road. It probably isn't of too much consequence though, because Davy, we think, is unlikely to catch Dean Harrison, and Michael Dunlop, who's another 30 seconds behind him, is unlikely to catch Davy Todd. So that's right. It's John McGuinness and Davy Todd having a bit of fun over the mountain. I'm sure Davy's not too frustrated about that. He'll just want to get to the end of this race and secure another podium.
Can't see on the screen. It looks like he's trying to take the overtake on the run up Halewoods Rise. He tried to take it just on the right-hander before the bungalow and had to back out of it there. So he'll be looking to get past just for his own peace of mind, I think, so he can secure this run to second place. Dean Harrison leads by 18.5 seconds at the bungalow. He's already through Craignabar, but Harrison leads by 18.5 seconds from Dunlop then. 31.3 seconds down on Todd in third. James Hillier holding fourth, and that is now 8.9 seconds down on Dunlop, and then John McGuinness and Davo Johnson, the other two riders, through the bungalow, but we've got other leaderboard contenders to make it to that point yet as we follow Harrison down through Brandish.
We've just seen Dean Harrison pull a big old wheelie coming out of Craignabar. There'll be hundreds of fans down there watching and waving, and he knows he's got this one in the bag now, a big old wheelie to celebrate. Great to see. Throws it into Hilbury, the uphill section up the Cronknamona, the last really fast part before we come into the slower bits, and then onto Glen Crutchery Road. So he'll be just getting his lines perfect, looking for his braking point into Signpost Corner, and making sure everything just clicks into place where he needs it, because this is another going to be another fantastic win.
Right out to the hedge on the exit of Signpost Corner, down through Bedstead rather, runs it out towards the pavement, but leaves himself a good margin, then into the nooks, drops it down through the right-hander into the nook, goes under the trees and will re-emerge out of the darkness and the damp that's still there on the nook into the braking zone at Governor's Bridge. Into the dip he goes, which we know is still quite wet from this morning, and then we'll get him re-emerging out onto Glen Crutchery Road. Here comes Dean Harrison on to Glen Crutchery Road. It's going to be the Superstock TT double at TT 2025. He takes the checkered flag. Harrison at the double in the Superstock at TT 2025. He's the only man still through Cronknamona. Davy Todd is now there actually, and is down to 16.3 seconds. Todd having got past McGuinness on the road. So it's Todd and McGuinness are through the final lap for Dean Harrison, having got those signals and backed it off. 132.580, 17 minutes 04.5. We'll try and get Todd in, and then we'll get straight down. We can see Harrison is taking or clapping all of the hands as he makes his way up the return road. It's a 5th TT win for Dean Harrison, and after waiting so long between victories to get two 2 in a week is tremendous for him. We wait for Davy Todd, who is second on the road. We want to get down to the winners' enclosure by the time Harrison arrives, but we do want to just take Todd across the line if we can. He shouldn't be far off. Harrison still taking the handshakes, and we shouldn't be long before we get Todd coming out. He's on to Glen Crutchery Road. We'll take Todd across the line for second place, taking the checkered flag right now. Down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, the gap in the end was 16 seconds. It was John McGuinness who just over the line as well, and the Honda team are straight in to Dean Harrison. Done a double on the Superstock. His missus is in there as well. She's got the old camera because he has his old podcast YouTube thing that he does. Another rider. Dunlop third confirmed, 32 seconds back. Hillier in fourth, 9 seconds back. Dean Harrison wins by 16 seconds, and you know what? That's how to manage your boards, because it came down all the way through the lap, just nice and steady, just a little tickle. His mum and dad are there as well, Sammy and Conrad, saying, well done to you, son. 5 times now a TT winner. All the Honda boys are getting straightened, and I'll be getting straightened in a minute to get the reaction straight from the horse's mouth. It's that new haircut, I'm sure what it is. It's the new haircut, and there we are, the family there. That's very, very important. Over to the team he goes, to the Honda guys. And the crowd and the Mercury Club there could get their videos and their cameras out as well. They're getting a great shot there. They really are. Straight to all the Honda guys. He has gone. And here comes our third place rider. And of course his second place rider, sorry, Davy Todd is in. And Dino's in as well. And I'm sure after he gets the gloves off and takes the lid off, has a little deep breath, says well done to the boys there as well. And Harvey the boss from Honda is in there as well. Give him a tap on the back, and here's Michael Dunlop in. What story is that to tell? And Michael's going to tell us of that opening lap where just he was nowhere. He was 16th to 17th on the first couple of sectors, but he managed to get it back and get another podium on the Isle of Man. Does that make 50, Chris Boyd? There's Dino. Well done, 50. Dino. Yeah, that'll be 50. It will be. Thanks for that. Well, I think it's the haircut, Dean. Well done.
Must be it. Yeah,
well done, mate.
Bear with me a second. Give me a minute.
It's all right. Let me take your earplugs out. I'll shout a bit louder. No, I won't. There you go. Earplugs are out. There you go. Get a glug of water just to take all this in, and we'll try again. Must be the haircut. Well done, young man.
Thank you very much. No, to do the Superstock doubles, unbelievable. First ever double, which is nice. So absolutely over the moon. Big thanks to the crowd cheering me on again on the last lap. Then everyone's got their arms and programs, anything they can over the fence. So big thanks to them. Thanks to the marshals and Honda, obviously. They put a brilliant bike together, and we've chipped away all week. I got off to a good start, to be fair. I got P1 plus 1, I think, or plus 2, I think, or P1 0 plus 0 going to the pits, and I didn't know how hard to go from the start because this was a full distance race and we have to do 3 laps in the rear tyre. And I thought, I don't want to go too hard from the start and then not have anything left at the end of the race, because I felt like I could have pushed on as the race went on. So I sort of sat at my rhythm when I thought we're okay, and I got P1, so I thought, all right, we're in with a bit of a shout here. I thought we'd be all right if I stick at this pace. Then I came out of the pits and had P1 plus 13, and I thought, something's gone wrong.
Davey had a really slow pit stop. Davey actually got ahead of you at one point. Conrad's pit stop it was. That's what he's telling us.
Yeah, and then I got a head down. I carried on the head down. And I thought, I knew if I could carry that lead onto the last lap, the pace we've been going this week, no one's going to pull 10, 12 seconds on me in one lap. Then my lead just got bigger from there, really. So.
Well, at first lap coming into Ramsey, Davey actually got in the lead by about 200ths of a second.
Okay.
Then you got him back. You pulled 1.1 going up the mile.
Oh, all right, okay. Well, that's what I mean. I got the board coming out of the Craig, so I got that board. So I thought, all right, which I'm happy with, and yeah, just absolutely over the moon, to be fair.
5-time TT winner.
Oh, that sounds better than
That's
4.
all right. What about this, though? Sets you up for the senior later tomorrow, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, we're looking at the weather at the minute and seeing what we can do. So, no, I feel good. The team's working good. So, massive thanks to everybody at Honda UK. It's great to pay them back the win. They're all watching at Middletown over the jump. So, I tried to look a little bit stylish over there, so we look good.
Well done, Dean. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy. Cheers. There we go. Then Michael Dunlop's going in now, so we'll get over to Davy Todd if we can. Rob, is that all right? We all right for he's going in there first? Going in there first. We have a strict order. Let's get into Michael as well, and I'm sure there's going to be a story behind this one. And Michael, tell us a story. Yeah, 20th through Glen Helen lap 1, 50th TT podium, but I'm sure you want to be in the middle bit. Something not right off the start. Again?
We seem to have. I don't know what's going on. We've tried everything. The team's tried everything, but it seems to be behind the scenes. Something's not seeming to working for some reason. But and then I ran on. I just couldn't get a gear. And then I ran on at Braden, and then I wanted to do that, was I was screwed then after that. And you can't drop time like that to these boys, and it was just damage limitation after that, really, because I knew rightly then, I knew Dean would be battering out to Glen Helen, that was the first part, and then obviously I knew Davey would be right behind, and literally Davey wasn't far behind. I got behind Josh, and then Davey wasn't far behind. I knew that, and then Davey didn't start in the pits, and I wasn't sure if she was going to restart or not. But obviously, then I knew as soon as board, and he got by, I let him by again. There was no point of pushing on. Dean, I knew by that stage had already he'd been out the gate. So yeah, but look, just get back to the podium. We just kept plugging away. Probably could have pulled it in, but we just kept plugging away and then bring it back.
I know other people have been dropped down the 21st lap, but you're not that kind of person. You want to finish.
I know, I just stuck on. I knew if I just chipped away slowly but surely, and I seen it was James that was racing with, and I knew then obviously we've got a twin race tonight, obviously, and I knew it would be. You have to get squelched into them, so I just thought, go as steady as I possibly could and make the job steady.
How frustrated are you with the thing just not being as sharp as you want it?
It's frustrating, because we know we have the pace. That's the problem, and it's just it's hard when you've got the pace and you know you've got the pace. But you can't deliver the pace. It can give you a bit of give you the shits a little bit. But hey, listen, it is what it is. You can't afford, these things can't afford to be like this in this game with these boys pushing that hard. You can't afford to have small issues. I think it's something that's been playing up all week to a degree. So look, there's nothing we can do. It's nothing to do. We can't do anything about it. It's down to them to sort. But it's you can't give that away to them boys. Not in this game. They're hammering on. The pace is too hot for that there. So once you have a small issue at all, it relevates into a massive one at the end up.
6 out of 6 podiums, though, and your 50th TT podium now as well. That's not too bad, is it?
No, hey, listen, I've got it's a bit of a sickener. Just I know that I can win big bike races. We just need to get the job together to get there. Obviously, they've found a lot with pace of that with Dean. Fair play to Dean. He's riding well. Obviously, that thing's got a turn of speed in it too, because we know how quick the BM should be. So, long and short of it, it's just not good enough.
Sets you up for later and tomorrow for the senior, hey?
Yeah, no, look, we've got twin race coming up. We've got big bike race coming up. Well, obviously, weather dependent. I don't know. Everybody seems to be a weather forecast person. I know. There's somebody going to lose their job when they go home because there's that many people over here can do it now. We're all weather forecast people. We're always trying to check what the weather's going to be. But look, we're here to put a show on, and all being well, we get a chance.
Thanks, Michael. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, let's get over to Davey Todd if we can, and grab a chat with him. And if we can, he's just talking to Darren and the boys from the 810 team. And Davey has a quick chat with Spard. Darren, sorry to jump in there, bud. Let's talk pit stops. Come on. Oh no, what happened? What? Just not same thing as the other day? How did it feel from you?
No, not the same thing. The other day was not so bad. The bike just wouldn't start. I don't know why. No.
You got ahead of him though on the first lap, into Ramsey, between Ramsey and the bungalow. You actually took that 2 seconds back.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen on my pit boards, and I wasn't riding at the limit. I felt comfortable in that first lap. I was just ticking laps away. I was nervous with the conditions, what they were going to be like, so I just wanted to scope that first lap out, and if we were going to be in the mix, we would be at the end of that first lap, and felt good there. Thought, right, we've got 2 laps to go do battle, and then the bike wouldn't start. I'm just gutted because the whole Monster Energy 810 BMW team have done a fantastic job all week, and don't deserve this bad luck.
It's the TT though, isn't it? Ups and downs. And what about that when you caught Michael on the road on the first lap? What were you thinking then?
Yeah, to be honest, I was thinking obviously it's going well, but knew Dean would be the man to beat in this Superstock race after the other day, and caught Michael, and hats off to him. He did pull over and let me by straight away the first time, and then I had to do it again. After the pit stop scenario, so it is what it is. We got to move on. We've still got the big one to go, the senior. I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully we can figure out whatever went wrong with her.
And of course, the Malenko by Padgett's twin a bit later.
Yeah, I got the twin later on. I don't even want to talk about that. We got an issue with that as well. It's going really slow. So the Padgett's boys have been working flat out to try and get that the speed up on that pattern. So we'll do what we can, and we've got a couple more races to go. So I'm excited for them.
Davey, thanks for your time. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks very much. There you go. There's your top 3 in the Opel Superstock race number 2. Chris Boyd, back to you to tidy up.
Absolutely, thank you very much. So Dean Harrison takes the race wing in Opel Superstock TT Race 2 by 16.031 seconds on the Honda from Davey Todd, on the Monster Energy by BMW Motorrad, and then Michael Dunlop on the MD Racing BMW third, 32.81 seconds. We'll get further down the leaderboard, but we want to pick up these rider interviews, and Beth has Sean Anderson.
Yeah, I do. And we know that earlier in the week, Sean, you had that little bit of a tumble, been feeling that physically. How are you?
Yeah, I think the body's probably still recovering. You know, every day has been a wee bit easier, so to get a big finish and be somewhere back up at least top 15, it was a case of, I think that's as good as I could really ask from myself today. I mean, the KH Hire guys, they put a bike, Felix and Mike put a bike under me that was probably could have done a lot more, but I'd say the limiting factor was the rider today. So a couple of wee issues also out there, but I sort of felt it myself. Just I was riding a bit tight. The big bike was a lot more physical than the Super Sport on Wednesday. So yeah, it's sort of walking wounded. I don't want to make a load of excuses, but I don't feel like I'm riding my best. I don't feel my best to myself. So hopefully the guys, you know, hopefully I did them all right and proud today by getting around. So I'm a wee bit disappointed in myself, but yeah, we can take things and move things forward. An easy ride on the twin tonight, and we'll see what comes tomorrow.
Still 129.072 though, that's not shabby.
Yeah, I mean, once you've gone into the 130 club, everything sub 130 is like meh. So it's a case of I knew that to try and beat a PB around here this week with all the things that have occurred would be really difficult, but I just really appreciate the guys sticking by me, and hopefully repay them at least with a result at the end of the week.
I think it's brilliant that you're still going, Sean, after clearly feeling a little bit battered and bruised. So go and have a sit down and then get ready for the twin, eh?
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you very much, Beth. So carrying on down the leaderboard then, in 4th place it was James Hillier, continuing his really good TT 2025, 9.9 seconds down on Dunlop in 3rd. Then Connor Cummins was 7.4 seconds down on Hillier. Top 5 finish for Connor on the Burrows by RK Racing BMW. Then Josh Brooks on the Prosper Jackson's bike, 5.9 seconds down on Cummins in 6th. Nathan Harrison was 4.3 seconds down on Brooks in 7th on the H&H Honda. Then John McGuinness on the other factory Honda finished in 8th. 10.9 seconds down on Harrison. Dominic Herbertson 3.6 seconds down on McGuinness in 9th, and Dave Johnson in 10th. 11th went to Rob Hodson. 12th goes to Michael Evans. 13th to Mike Brown, as we just try to get ourselves shuffled beyond that and just get them all into order. 13th to Mike Brown. 14th to Sean Anderson. 15th to Brian McCormack, and rounding out the top 16 was Phil Crow. We'll get down to Beth again.
Yeah, I'm just here with James Chalk. Talk us through your race.
Oh, it was a hard race, I don't know. Like a nerve or something got trapped in my hand, and I was only barely hanging on. I'm glad I finished it, but it was a tough race.
That must be absolutely terrifying when you feel something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't nice now at all, so I don't know what happened, but we made it home and finished it anyway, thank God.
Well, good, and you're still smiling as ever, so go and see the physio girls.
Thank you very much, bye.
Thank you very much, Beth. Great to hear. James Chalk has got home. James Hine finished in 17th despite those issues, stopping out at Sulby to just check because he thought it was overheating and carrying on. He's finished in 17th. Eddie Fair, the Frenchman, has finished in 18th. Mitch Reese has finished the top 20, 19th on the Malenko by Paget's Honda, and 126.44 miles per hour for Mitch. So that's really, really impressive. Top 20 rounded out by Erno Costamo. 21st for Marcus Simpson, 22nd for Lucas Mora, 23rd for Jamie Kringle on the Bavens bike, then Alan Ventnor in 24th, Stefano Bonetti 25th, Joey Thompson in 26th, Maurizio Batalico in 27th, Kevin Keyes gets himself a good finish in 28th from Joe Yeardsley, who's 29th, then James Chalk, who we've just spoken to, in 30th, but we've actually got Joe Yeardsley with Beth.
Yeah, Joe, obviously the first race was disappointment because you were tired, but got through this one. How was it?
No, I really enjoyed it. The bike was great. The bike's been handling well all week. It's just me hanging on too tight, and
losing it, just struggling to hold on. But no, we got a few settings dialed in on the bike there, and I feel a little bit more comfortable. So yeah, just taking my time with it, really.
Do you know, as somebody who doesn't know a great deal about bikes, I think the whole idea would be to hold on tight, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, just holding on a bit too tight because I'm nervous. But now all my other races are out the way on the 600, I can just focus on this and enjoy the rest of the event, and hopefully have a run on the Super Twin this afternoon.
Conditions out there okay?
Say that again, sorry.
Conditions okay?
Yeah, they're good, damp in the usual spots, but no, it was nice just to get out and do the full race, and no, I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Joe. Now we'll hand over to Kinners.
Yeah, thank you very much, Beth. So, ladies and gentlemen, good to hear from Joe Yeardsley there, and it's the Opel Superstock TT Race 2 circuit. To meet you. And ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the sponsors, Opel, the CEO, I'm going to pronounce this correct. Neeraj Bhatia. Close enough. Thank you, Neeraj. Thank you very much for your time. Up you go into the podium. Give a round of applause, folks. Put a lot of money into some Isle of Man businesses. And Neeraj goes up to present the awards. Ladies and gentlemen, in third place, riding the MD Racing BMW S1000RR, number 6, Michael Dunlop. And of course, Michael's 6th podium of the week and his 50th podium in total so far in his TT career. In second place, riding the Monster Energy BMW Motorrad BMW M1000RR, Davey Todd. Davey makes his way up onto the podium. It's got a lot of people here, so probably struggling to hear with the outfit of Ben Birchall being warmed up there. So Davey in, that pit stop cost him, unfortunately. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your winner, and now a 5-time Isle of Man TT winner. They are getting Michael Dunlop puts the sash over Davey Todd's neck. Well done, Michael. And now a 5-time winner on the Honda Racing UK Fireblade, number 3, Dino. And to give him his correct name, his mother will tell me off. Dean Harrison gets another TT win, gets the sash. Yay, well done. Well done, Neeraj. Well done to you. And he gets the Superstock Race 2 Tyrrell Trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Harrison. And ladies and gentlemen, please now, if you are able, be upstanding for the anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation once again for Michael Dunlop, Davey Todd, and of course your race winner, Dean Harrison. So Dean hands the trophy back. That will be coming back downstairs. Thank you very much to Neeraj from Opel. Thank you very much for that, sir. Your first time doing that, hopefully the first time of many. So now we get the Forage and Vintners champagne will be opened and will be sprayed. Don't drop it this time, Davey. Let's not drop it this time, and here we go. Dino's going to be first. There we go, we're away. Woohoo! Excellent work. Well done to Dean. Well done to Davey. Well done to Michael.
Keep up to date with Manx Radio's dedicated motorsport website, motorsport.manxradio.com, your one-stop shop for news, travel, road closures and racing schedules. You can also step into Manx Radio 1368's 60-year motorsport archive, including interviews with your favourite riders, race highlights from yesteryear, and our collection of motorsport videos and podcasts. Motorsport.manxradio.com, the home for motorsport on the Isle of Man, from the best biking station in the world, Manx Radio 1368.